Mouthful of food.
Well, that hood was.
What's going on, faithfuls? What's going on? We're back with a fun-filled episode of the Faithful Empire that's powered by the Red Gold 24/7. All right, and of course, we are live on all major platforms: YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and Facebook. And of course, I'm your guy Ryan. And of course, next to me over here, I got Money Mav. Oh, we're doing it the right way. This is right here. And on the other side, we got me. Everybody wants to be like Mike over there. And of course, coming in hot. What's up, Drew? And of course, over there, we got Coach Ron. What's going on, fellas?
What up, y'all?
Boy, that's a big ass cup of coffee. Y'all still sipping on that.
Do something different.
Mike, you should be about done with your coffee, bro.
Yeah, it's almost done here.
And of course, you catch Mav on his show on Tuesdays. Sorry to interrupt the conversation there real quick. The Convo with Mavocado.
You good?
And that's his Twitter handle right there. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday night.
Featuring Drew and Ron at times.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, Coach Ron on That Night of Life. That's his Twitter handle. Go follow him. Great guy. On Thursday,
on Twitter,
YouTube, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
We got that going again.
Okay. Now I can hear myself. Why do I hear myself?
Something's going on with Drew.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah. Just mute your mic for a minute.
All right, we good?
How about I sound? How I sound good?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Something's going on Drew's end whenever he meets his mic.
Sorry. All right. Sorry, fellas. Okay, now let me see here. Get back to where I was. And of course, news we have so far has been blowing up for the last couple of days. I know you guys want to talk about just a little bit of it. Go ahead, talk about it. Of course, we got the Cone versus Kinlaw. Guys, talk about it.
So who's gonna kick us off on that one?
Me, all I said is wow. That's all I had to say.
Go ahead.
Wow. So, yeah, Money Man. Yeah, bud.
I was just gonna say, hey, damn, I was shocked. I didn't expect that, and the whole time I'm sitting here looking at the entire show, right? Because at first I thought the entire show Kinlaw jumped on, but it was the end. And he for real thought it was some clickbait, like somebody was playing with him until he actually jumped on. And dude, the whole conversation went off real quick. Yeah. I did not see that coming whatsoever.
I think Kinlaw had it built up. Yeah, he had to have I think he was waiting for it.
Yeah. It's been a pressure pot with the team. Like this was eventually gonna happen. You push enough buttons, you poke the bear enough times, and bad things happen. One of the things I really didn't like was when Cone had his dad on his show the other day to help defend him, and his dad brought up a story about how he wanted to try and bury a baseball player. Like, you're really not helping your case when you are trying to say that, hey, I'm the media and I've got some power, so keep talking shit on me and something's going to happen to you. That was a very bad look, I think. For the
and
Cubs.
they do.
Like,
That's what's so wrong about it.
It was just a bad look. Like, hey, you want to say something else? I'm going to send you to the minors. I'm like, are you seriously going to go and use that as your defense to try and smooth over this situation? It's just their mindset of how to handle media in the NFL is just negative, bad. I don't like it.
Gary Thorpe says
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan. My bad.
All right, sorry, man. It's all good. Gary Thorpe hoping he loses his credit or not.
Like his
I think
credentials
so.
for the
His
team.
credentials,
Yeah,
his
Yeah,
credentials.
his credentials.
I kind of think that he
I
needs
mean,
to, because it's to a point where you've got so much support from the players that they don't want this guy in the locker room. He's just going to be a negative stigma throughout the season that I don't think we need right now. So I think they might pull him. I don't know what you guys think.
yeah.
So here's like my thing about after what happened was I don't think that once he came out and Cone came out and was like, well, we squashed it, we shook hands, we met with Lynch, I applaud him for it. Kinlaw came back out and then like hit that Instagram. I don't know if it was live or what he did, but he said it's
Someone said that was
definitely
a
not
fake
squashed.
account.
Well, I think
No,
it was
it's real.
confirmed. It was real.
It was real.
It
That's
was
the real,
It was
Kinlaw.
right?
real.
So
Yeah.
I think Kinlaw should have just like already let it go. That's like, to me, that's part of like learning how to become a pro and part of actually like growing. Like, just walk away from it. You know what I mean? It's easier said than done, but that's where you have to like recognize that like it's done with. You got to move on. You're a professional. You have more to lose than the other guy. But then,
Ron,
go ahead.
Ron, let's be honest, Ron. I'm pretty sure you and I both grew up in a neighborhood to where no matter how much our parents or our elders wants us to squash beef with somebody else, we still gonna catch them around the corner later on today. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you. So,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's just a thing, bro. Like the man's been living his life like that, forever. I'm not saying he's not a professional. I'm not saying he don't know how to carry himself accordingly, but you clearly see when he has something on his chest, he's not gonna let it go until he actually takes care of it himself. So it's sad to say, but I think it might just go that way unless someone else steps into Kinlaw and pulls him to the side.
So here's
go ahead, Mike.
Quick question on that. So they had their conversation. Lynch was involved. They shook hands. Do you think that Kinlaw would have kept going if Grant wouldn't have said anything on the show? Like, you know what? We had this agreement on the field or in the office. Let's just squash it, not say anything else about it. If Cohen wouldn't have gone to the show and said things were squashed, do you think Kinlaw would have said anything else? Or if like they would have just kept it between themselves, this could have been done.
Honestly, I think Grant cutting him off saved his ass from going on saying anything worse. Kinlaw might have said something to where it got him kicked off the team and possibly arrested, bro. So I think Grant saved his ass when he cut him off, because I mean the man was getting heated. It was getting to the point where he was gonna jump through that screen. So
yeah, and that's what I say. Like Mav makes a valid point. Like, bro, I come from the hood. I mean, I don't know where everybody else comes from, but like Mav said, some of these dudes come from places like we can't even imagine. Like they have tough upbringings, and Grant Cohn egging him on like that, because after the incident happened, Grant Cohn went live and then told us what happened, and then again he called him the king of the training room, bro. So after the incident happened, he still kept talking stuff. So to Mav's point, like some of these dudes come from the streets. Like they'll kick your ass, bro. That's why you don't fuck with these people. You don't know their backgrounds. But again, like me, for example, I'm gonna take myself as an example. When I became a professional for a financial institution, I was raw myself. Like I said stuff I shouldn't have said. I learned a lot of hard lessons in what it took to become a professional, and eventually I got it. So either you get it or you don't. That there was a prime example for Javon Kinlaw on when you need to start becoming a pro and start putting your past behind you. I think that's where he needed to just say, okay, I'm an NFL football player now. I know I'm from the hood, but those are lessons that you have to learn, and you got to learn the hard way. That's where I feel like he could have just like walked away from it. Even though he felt that, I know his emotions are still high, but that's a test for you as a man right there to like be like, all right, dude, I got to like figure out a way to just let this go. And he didn't. So you obviously know it's not squashed. But it's hard. I get it. It's hard. Like, Javon grew up tough. That's why you don't pick a fight with that dude.
See, me, I grew up under the rules, spell the rod, spell the child. So I had my mom on my ass. I had my uncles. I had my cousins. So I had people on me. So regardless, and then it took me 10 years of working fast food to learn customer service. Once I learned that, bro, I was able to carry myself and able to handle situations. Like, dude, if I come across a Karen right now, bro, I'm just laughing at her ass because you feel me? It's stupid. It's ridiculous. But I understand Javon. But at the same time, I wish he would have handled it differently. And it is what it is. It happened. It happened. He can't take it back. So now we all know him. Now I'm guessing we all know the real him at this moment. You see what I mean? So because he let it be seen. But at the same time, to your point, Grant is a freaking antagonizer. He should have stopped right away, like you said.
Well, he saw the bank account growing as he kept antagonizing. What's your guys' opinion on his comment about pushing them so far that he gets sued or he gets hit and he sues and retires? I know Pat McAfee really went off on that point and kind of tore him apart, but a lot of Cone's defenders are saying that was all a joke. How did you guys see that?
No, so he said, like, he came back out and said it was a joke, but to me, it comes back to a guy who's probably, and I hate to assume, but just based off like my observation of Grant, he comes from a complete different background than Javon. And Grant Cone probably has never dealt with the type of adversity that Javon Kinlaw has dealt with. And the fact that he was that naive to think that he can like continue his brand of like content creation and it was never going to catch up to him, it tells me like a lot. Like, you know what I mean? So to me, I think he was it's one of those jokes where you say you're joking, but like you really do mean it. Like, hey, like cha-ching, I can push this guy so far, he can't touch me. But that shows like the type of privilege he's been he's been privileged.
It was not a joke, man. Come on.
Yeah, no way.
On the streets, bro, like Javon Kinlaw, like you throw hands. That's what you do. You gotta throw hands, or you can't walk around with respect anymore.
Oh yeah, I know some of his defenders were trying to prove the joke timeline and say that McAfee was reporting on it out of context and stuff was edited. It's like those words came out of his mouth. It is what it is. You know, there's always the comment that there's truth to every joke. Like if he was joking, part of him was thinking that. You know, if I get hit right now, I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm getting paid, and I'm ruining this guy's career.
That's so true, guys. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, guy.
No. Speak up. Speak on, man. Speak on.
I need to wait for me to speak. For me, when I first saw it, I could tell by looking at Kinlaw. He was sick. He was serious.
Yeah.
I mean, he was serious because he had food in his mouth and doing it in his food in his mouth.
He was pissed.
I couldn't believe. I thought he was going to choke on it. I was waiting for
we saw a pure emotional moment unfold on video. Like that was just pure emotion coming out and what this man was feeling in the moment.
Like when I saw that, bro, like it took me back to like growing up in the hood, and like what Kinlaw was really trying to say was like, bro, if we were in my hood, I would have fucked you up. That's really what he was trying to say. Like if we was on the streets, dog, you would not be playing with me. And the fact that Grant Cone thinks it's funny is what like set him off even more. Like he knows Javon can't touch him. And as a man, you're basically getting tested. He's egging you on. And like I said, he comes from a background. Like Javon Kinlaw said, he's been homeless. I mean, the dude eats squirrels. I'm not trying to clown on that, but like that's how hard it is for him. This dude comes from a rough upbringing. And these dudes, bro, they don't play. These dudes do not play. And I think he completely forgot about the fact that he was an NFL player. Like at that moment, he didn't care.
No.
All that
I
that-
raw
guess to me,
emotion.
That was
I
the
guess to
past
me
just
that
coming up to the surface.
that
Yep.
eating squirrel, to me that eating squirrel shit is not even a joke. It's not even funny to me. Like there's
not.
legit people out there that go hunting squirrels, clean them up, and cook them and eat them. Most of them are out there in Georgia and Alabama. I mean, it's like when you hear something about deer sausage. How many freaking people eat deer sausage? But you go to Alabama or Georgia, they all out there. I've never ate one, and I'm in Florida.
I mean, at one
So
point,
it's like,
at one point, he was legit homeless. He did not have a home to go to.
Yep.
yeah, I get it, but it's like people making fun of him for eating squirrels and shit. It's like, dude, that's a real thing. That's a real
is.
It
meal.
is.
People
It is.
actually
It
go
is.
hunt squirrels and do the shit. So it's like, I didn't see the joke behind that. And for
Right.
Grant to talk about, oh yeah, he hits me, I sue him, and cha-ching, like, bro, come on, you is not joking, bro. You are clearly telling us your plan right now. Like seriously, like whatever little respect I had left for you, even though everybody's jumping on your back, bro, like I lost it right there. That right there, you try, and then I guess for me, I looked at it like a race thing, because being a black man, it's always gonna be a race thing like that. You know what I mean? Don't take no offense to it, fellas, but I'm just being honest.
Yeah. No, spit it.
A white
Mhm.
a white man smiling and laughing at another black man who had to work his whole entire life to get where he's at and actually trying to be comfortable and happy with his family, and you smiling talking about ching ching if he touches you. Like, bro, come on. Right now, to me, I feel like that's a race thing. That's a race boundary, because if it was a white player, you wouldn't dare say that. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's
It's
thinking
different.
the same way with you. He's gonna sue your ass right back.
Yeah.
Am I lying?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong for
no.
saying that?
You're
I
not
mean,
lying at all. You're
yeah.
not lying at all. No,
It's
you're not.
like it shows like at times like Grant he either misreads, or he's doing it on purpose, or he's naive, bro. Like let's just say he did it to like an NFL player with a different upbringing. He may know better and like not entertain it. Like there's other players
Yep.
who haven't said shit. But now you're dealing with somebody who's a real one and who's not playing games. It almost like reminded me of my upbringing where like I transferred to my last year of high school. I transferred to like let's just say a better school to play football, and like dropping me in the middle of the suburbs was like a reality check, bro. There was privilege, and these guys knew where I came from, and like they did not hesitate to throw it in my face, and you couldn't touch these guys, and they knew
And I
that,
know you had to
so they
earn your
like took
respect from them,
advantage of
didn't you?
it. Yeah. And like these guys had money and I didn't. Like I came from the fucking hood. That's why like it's hard for me not to relate to Javon Kinlaw, because I've been in that same situation where the rich white kid has been flossing in my face and I can't do nothing about it because his parents are lawyers, and chances are I'll end up in jail.
Mhm.
And that's what I think is messed up, bro. And
And the minute,
then
and the minute, and the minute you stand up for their ass and bail them out, oh, they become your best friend, because that's the only damn thing they wanted, for you to be on their damn side. And the minute
and
you on their
then
side,
yeah.
bro, it's like you covered.
And then like
Everything's fine now.
he comes out and says everything's squashed. I think John Lynch, we're good, we're cool. And then yesterday he tweets out like basically a tweet mocking Trey Lance. And that's was like that
Oh,
to me was like he don't get it, bro. He doesn't get it. This dude don't get it. He don't get it.
listen, to me, Grant is the kind of guy who grew up as a kid just being able to say what he want to say, like you said, the privilege, and get away with it. Like his parents didn't teach him not to say this and not to say that. You got to watch how you say this, watch how you say that. No, he's just anything flies out his mouth, whether he's joking or not, he think it's funny. But dude, that's not funny, bro. It's like you shooting a gun at me and missing and thinking it's a joke, bruh. No,
Well, yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna shoot back.
look at his role model, his dad. His dad did the same thing to an extent.
Right.
But
That's
even
what-
when it comes down to the credentials, if he loses the credentials, it's not going to hurt him. because he's still
No,
got
because
his
he'll just go to
show.
another
He's still
team.
got his fan base. I don't even know if he'd go to another team. He could still do what he does without having to go on 49er property. He can still go on his YouTube show. He can still make his opinions of players. He can still do his hot takes. I honestly think losing his credentials, it's not going to hurt him with what he does and his brand.
But see,
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to give your opinions on players. It's okay if you don't like a player. That's fine. Just don't be calling them names. Don't be belittling them. Don't do that. You feel me? Especially if that's a team you're reporting for. You're supposed to try to give the fans hope for the next week or whatever, however long it takes them. Not just, I'm not gonna say it, but what he mentioned about his knees, about Javon's knees. Like, dude, that was so uncalled for, bro. Like, for real. You didn't have. I mean, if you could make a joke amongst you and Kinlaw in private about that, but not blast it like that. I'm pretty sure Kinlaw would probably be laughing at your ass too if you said that to him directly in the midst of a joke, instead of putting it out there, and then that's how he's got to find out how you feel about him. No, bro, no, that's
Yeah.
The thing that really gets me too is if Kinlaw goes off and has a great year, the first thing out of Cohen's mouth is gonna be like, "Look what I did! I inspired him," and he's gonna take credit for that, and that's just ridiculous.
He's never wrong.
Yeah,
That's
never
what
wrong.
tells me he don't get it.
If he balls out, he's gonna take credit for it, and if he doesn't ball out, he'll be like, "I told you guys." Like it's such a game that he plays, and so many
Guys
people
like that don't get
bet
it, bro.
into it. And his little followers, they bought into it, and they'll defend him to them. I mean, that's fine. If that's the hill you want to die on, and you want to defend Grant, that's your choice.
Yep.
But
Guys
for me,
like that, man.
yeah.
Go ahead.
For
Mike.
me,
Sorry.
I defend this team. I defend these players, and an outside source that wants to take fans in their direction, that's not the right thing to do.
I'm sorry, not to get away off subject real quick, but I'm starting to really think this damn USFL is not gonna make it, dude. Because how in the hell you going into the half and you only got 62 passing yards, 2 interceptions, and 8 rushing yards, bro?
No other league is ever going to make it without the support of the NFL. But that's why I think the new XFL is actually going to succeed, because it has the support of the NFL. Kind of is I don't want to say farming league, but it seems like that's where it's kind of the direction it's going to go in. But they've got the same contracts with the NFL. Yeah, the Rock's rebranding of the XFL. I think that one has a shot to actually succeed, because the NFL's on board. We've got ESPN on board. Disney.
Your running back only has 14 yards.
How many rushing attempts?
I don't know how many rushing attempts, but still 14 yards at the half.
Here's what it is.
Could at least have 30 or something. I was like, okay, well, shit, damn.
Now that's bad if he only has 5 attempts. That's 2 yards for a pop at least.
That's
I'm
terrible.
not even getting into that. Yeah, I'll find out how many attempts later. I'm not even gonna get into that with that right now. But
Yeah, like I was gonna say about my side was like I said wow when I first saw it, but me, I didn't grow up in the hood. I never did. I grew up in the same house. I'm in the same house for over 40 years. So, and it's a quiet neighborhood, it really is. And I'm not rich either. I'm not rich at all. We work our asses off around here. We do. Make that money, make that bread. So,
listen to Ryan. Make that bread.
I learned the slang over years. Don't worry, I learned the slang.
Okay.
I do. I work at Riggins, so yes, I'm a salesman too. I sell gas. So, and trust me, I get it every day about racism stuff and that stuff. I do not pay attention to it even. So I'll be first to tell you I'm not racist. I'm not. If I was racist, I would be doing this show. You know, I got Mexican, I got black guys on here. I'm not Mexican at all, not one bit. So that's
I
how I
don't
was
see
raised.
color either. I care less about the color.
That's right. All blood bleeds red. All blood bleeds red.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I don't see the color. but it's hard not to see it when something between Cone and Kinlaw happens. And like reading between the lines, it's just hard not to bring in that color, because I know if it gets taken to court, that's gonna play a big part in it too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Cone has just as much to lose as Kinlaw. He just doesn't realize it, because he haven't really gotten that ass whooping like he needs to. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly what it is right there, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody
he never got a belt,
and he ain't never learned the hard way.
Yep.
Nope.
That's what it is right there, bro.
He can say he ain't got into fights whatsoever, bro.
Yep.
Listen, I know one thing, boy.
Okay, Mikey.
My final take on it is, you look at who supports who. Who's supporting Kinlaw? It's players. It's mainstream media. Legit people in the sport. The people that are supporting Cone are just his backers, his cronies, his dad. There's something to say for that. Okay, legit guys in the media room with him are not even supporting him. They're not even talking about it. They don't want to give any attention to this. So
I know one guy who can't stand him for a fact, and that's Lombardi. So I mean, hey, Lombardi will be on the player's side any day.
None of them can. Legit media from other teams have called him a clown, saying every city's got one and he's yours.
Yeah, you got to have more respect for the game, bro. Like, I mean, what player wants to get injured and jeopardize losing millions of dollars after he's worked his ass off basically his entire life to get to where he's got? Like, who wants to get injured? Like, now you can say, well, you know, Javon's dealt with injuries and this and that, but you can't say he has 80-year-old knees, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't. And it's what's unfortunate about the whole thing, and I'm gonna leave it off with this, is that he's not gonna learn. He's not gonna learn.
Not at all. Not at all.
And I don't think he cares, to be honest with you.
Because he's
what's up, Nick Kisman?
He's made a lot of money this week. He's probably made more money. He's probably made more money this week than he has year to date.
Yeah, like when I saw that show, I told you guys in the chat, Jesse had to pay like $5 so he can read his question, and then just alone with that, like that's $5 just for like Jesse telling him the Kinlaw was in the chat. That's $5 right there. Times like how these people.
Hold on, so Jesse told him that Kinlaw was in the chat.
Yeah, so like Grant only reads super chats, $2, $3. Right, like if you
I thought Jesse, Rob, and Jason, and Jack. I thought they all had this whole little network to where they can communicate.
He still doesn't care. Look at that. He's even charging his friends. These guys.
That's what was funny.
The guys that are dying on the hill for him have to pay for him to read their chats on his show.
Right. That's what I was laughing at.
I'm surprised nobody said nothing about that, bro. Like, for real.
I did. I told y'all in the text chat. I was like, the funniest part about the whole video.
I'm talking about. I'm surprised no one in his camp brought that up to anybody else.
Nah, Grant only reads money signs, bro. And like I said, look, dude, I get his brand of content creation. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on that. But he's playing with fire. I've tweeted this out before. It was just a matter of time. This guy is not a fan. He's in it for clicks and money. And the fact that Jesse had to pay him $5 just to make him aware of the fact that Kinlaw was watching is funny to me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I did not know that. Bro. I didn't even know who made him aware of that, bro.
It's such a joke, and like I've always said, he's a pariah. He's a pariah.
About it, man.
He's a parasite on this team, and it was bound to happen. And I hope it gets resolved.
The man is an antagonist, man.
I mean, if he is still in that media room, it's going to turn into a Marshawn Lynch situation where no one's going to answer his questions. They're just going to give him one-word answers and be like, next.
Good. Hey, Nick. What's up, bud?
How are we doing, guys?
In case you haven't noticed, Brash, you talk about the Kinlaw and Cone thing.
And Grunt.
Grunt.
I mean, we're
Grunt's
done.
the see you
We're
next
done
Tuesday.
talking about him, Nick. It's all
I
on
hate
you right
man.
now. We're
I
done
hate
talking
the man.
about him. We're just gonna
He is
sit back
vile.
and listen.
The best thing everyone can do is unfollow him and stop saying his name. It will destroy his career, and that is what he deserves after the way in which he treats players is vile. I mean, he thinks this is okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I followed him so long ago, but so many Niner fans still follow him. I still see his bullshit on my timeline.
I've gotten to the point I've blocked so much now that if someone retweets, it just says this is a tweet is from a person that you've blocked, and I know roughly who it is because you can see there's the link, and I'm like, okay, that's something I just don't want to see. I have no interest. I refuse to click on anything with his name because it helps him.
Ron brought up a good point offline that if this was to happen to any other of his minions, would he be showing the same support for them as they show for him?
Not
and
a
it's
chance.
100% no. And the perfect example was that douchebag Jet Scout who was never a scout. He was an intern. Everybody intern, never scout. He got the scouts coffee, but Grant followed him. Grant gave him a platform when all that shit started to blow up. And then he had that Aaron Hernandez tweet. And the second that went bad, Grant dropped him real fast. So where's the support there? He would not support these followers that are supporting him as much.
Intern for whom?
The Jets.
No,
he was an intern. He was an intern for the Jets scouting department. He was not a former scout. He was an intern for the scouting department. So even his bullshit claim of being a former scout, not true. The guy was an intern.
Was there any? So I'm saying, okay, so if they're talking about former scout, then
that's what he calls himself.
To assume that he's no longer there?
Oh yeah.
No. Have you guys ever had an intern? Do you guys know like what interns do? Like it's like what Mikey said. They get the fucking coffee.
Yeah.
They go and like pick up the food for the potlucks.
Yeah.
That's what you have interns do. I've had interns.
I guess the question that I'm really asking is, what was the punishment laid down for him? Is he still in that building? Is he still doing anything at all for the Jets?
We don't know what he does. He wrote some BS book that he said was going to change the way the NFL looks at football. The guy's a joke.
Yeah, he is. He tried claiming it would be what was I can't remember. He said it would be the most outrageous book ever written about football.
The end of the NFL or something.
You're just trying to hype yourself up way beyond expectations. But his way of doing things fits in exactly the same as the way that Grunt does things. Grunt does things exactly the same way. That's why Grunt liked him.
Yeah. He's trying to copy that formula, and it's failing miserably because people just think he's the biggest clown on the internet.
Oh yeah. I don't know why people interact with him. I really don't.
They're from like, I don't know if you guys know, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what Tekashi 6ix9ine is. They're all about that shock value. Like that's what it reminds me of. Like they're gonna do the most shocking shit to get talked about in the most negative way, but it works for them. They're making money. And that's what they do. But you got to understand, just like Tekashi 6ix9ine, eventually you're going to get sucker punch coming out of the club. You know, like you're playing with fire. Sorry, Mav. I know this is a topic for your show, but like I find it relevant.
No, we good. Because I mean, hey, bro, listen. I've talked about that so much already.
Boy,
I've talked about that so much already, bro. I can't.
Suck ass, bitch.
Boy, you a bitch. A sucker ass.
When it comes to Tekashi 6ix9ine,
here we go. I know.
About that kid, bro.
What's going on, fellas?
You can say that I can't find nothing else. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I heard you were talking about my favourite beat writer, Grant the Trash Cone. So
please elaborate. Tell us about your favorite.
I think you're being too kind by calling him a beat writer.
Well,
for sure.
I'd have said, well, I won't swear because I only just come on. But yeah, I mean, that shit this week with Kinlaw and the heat he got, I think it was well deserved because the dude, do you know what? When he was just on the Press Democrat and he published articles and people commented on things like that, he had no YouTube. I liked him. I liked him a lot. back in those days. And then he got Billy Big Bollocks, as we say in the UK, Nick, right? And Wales as well. And he believes his own hype.
Hey, I mean, apparently his balls are still small. According to Kinlaw got bigger nutsack than he does. So,
well, to be fair, Kinlaw's
got bigger everything.
Kinlaw's 300 pounds and Grant Cohn's probably 100 ringing wet.
Yeah, he said 186. 186 to be exact. Those were the numbers.
Yeah. And if my auntie had balls, she'd be me uncle. He honestly, what a joke that geezer is. And so are the coneheads that follow him. And all of the little, and I love Jesse, Last Second Sports, don't get me wrong. I do like his content, but talk about defending the indefensible. Yeah, I mean, Cohn is just a joke. He's treated as a joke in the locker room. Most of the people on Twitter that, you know, follow this shit probably think the same. But he's just a parody. He's like a heel in wrestling. And he stuck his dick in the wasp's nest and he got bitten and he didn't like it. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I just think he's a joke. Obviously, I've tuned in a bit late. What are you guys saying about him?
Pretty much the same.
I mean, when it comes to Jesse though, man, to me personally, I feel like it's more of a loyalty thing for him until he shows me otherwise.
Sorry, what do you mean by what? Loyal because he's helped him launch his platform? I didn't know who the hell Jesse was until Grant Cohn. You know, most of these guys I didn't know who they were until Grant Cohn. So I mean, again, that's how I see Jesse for right now. It's a loyalty thing because I mean, to be fair, you could say the same about Vish. I don't think Jason has gone down I don't think Jason sort of said anything on it, to be honest.
Nah, he spoke maybe like once or twice. That's it.
You know, and Jason hopped on his bandwagon, if you like, but Vish, I can't think of that.
Vish is the loyalty thing too. Yeah, Vish is also a loyalty thing too. But I mean, he's been getting hit so hard to where he had to defend himself from all that crap. So I mean, yeah, I don't fault Jesse nor Vish right now until they show me otherwise. But
as I say, I've got no problem with Jesse. I like
Jesse too. I like Jesse,
but the arse licking and the just blind loyalty to that dude is fucking crazy.
Yeah, they need to ditch Grunt.
Oh, how delicious would it be for the 49ers to go, do you know what, Grant? Don't let your fucking arse hit the door on the way out. Give us your credentials. See you, buddy. That would be hilarious.
It'd be awesome. It'd be like Christmas in June.
I mean, honestly, do you really think he would get to play for somebody? I mean, to even write or be on somebody else's camp?
No, but then surely, and I know Sports Illustrated is a wide-ranging thing, and he's only like in a branch office, if he's even in an office of Sports Illustrated, because I doubt any of his shit gets put in the real magazine, right? Surely they must be embarrassed by the whole situation. Sports Illustrated as a brand must be, because I mean, it made it on the Pat McAfee show. It's got, surely they must be embarrassed.
I mean, is he even still hired by them? I thought he was doing his own thing.
He's not an actual employee.
No, he's not. He's not hired by them.
Yeah, he just freelances and sends them articles.
He writes for Sports Nation. That's who, and it's like an affiliate of. They write for all kinds of different people.
Sports Illustrated. Okay.
So yeah, he's taking them down from his shows. So,
no, because he's moving apparently from last show. I heard that's why he took down the whole background.
Who he writes for now?
That's what he said.
Right.
So he'll be some of his articles will be in the National Enquirer and Jet and all those quality publications you see at the airport, where you look at them and go, "The fuck out! I'm not reading that garbage."
Oh wow. I didn't know his articles was all over the place like that.
Throw that so-called humble bragging that he was moving into a multi-million-dollar house.
Paid for by daddy.
We want to talk about like something else. Are we done
Yeah,
here?
let's
I mean, I'm sorry. I know
Yeah,
it's
let's
going
move on.
Ryan, but
It's okay. It's all good. I guess we're all done with that topic, so we'll get out of there.
yeah. So I wanted to actually talk to you guys
a
about.
joke. Let's move on to something
Yeah,
else.
let's move on. Let's go.
Hey, so I was actually looking. I mean, I was watching some of the coaching interviews, and I don't know if you guys caught the press conferences, Brian. Ryan, I think you said you did, right?
Oh yes.
But something that stood out to me was like Talanoa Hufanga may have a chance to start at safety, bro.
Yeah, I seen that. Yep.
There's like a lot of praise going around the locker room for Talanoa. So I don't know if we talked about it last time. Some of us had, I don't know, I kind of had like more sliding over, but after listening to like what the coaches have been saying, listening to what Jimmy Ward said about him, like I don't know that Talanoa Hufanga he may just be, that starting safety when week 1 kicks off. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah.
Check this out.
In and around the box, he's absolutely fantastic. His tackling needs to calibrate. He does fall off tackles every now and again, but he's young. That'll come.
He said
I got
just working with him will make him go higher and help Hufanga go higher as him. That way they can be top safeties in our team. That's what he said.
I got a quick addition to that question, Ron. Tuesday, August 16th is the cut down from 90 to 85. Ooh. So when you saying that, who do we see leaving as far as like if he's talking about Talanoa starting, and who did you mention, Ryan?
When Jimmy Ward was talking about Hufanga, about his game when he's with him, hopefully it'll make his game go higher and then bring up his, because he's so good on the field with him. That's what he was saying.
So with like those initial cuts, Mav, I don't think we'll even like see and like maybe one or two guys like that we've heard of. Everybody else is probably just a bunch of no-name camp bodies. I don't think you'll see anybody that we like or talk about until like final cuts. But what Jimmy
you want me to give
said
you
about him? Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to give you all three dates right now?
Yeah,
cool.
Yep.
August 16th, 90 to 85. August 23rd, 85 to 80. August 30th, 80 to 53. But teams do not have to follow those patterns until the 30th.
Mm-hmm. Bro, we're already going into June. Can y'all believe that shit?
We're almost there. We're like 112 days away from the home opening.
I know. You guys are gonna have to stop talking sexy at me with that stuff like that.
So, like the thing about Talanoa is like, here's like the thing about Talanoa that I've said personally, and if he starts, then he's shutting me up because I like him in the box and around the line of scrimmage because like he still runs a 4.7, right? But it's a game of angles, and if he can take the right angles, like I mean, he can get there. So my biggest concern with him is coverage. But everything that I've been hearing, dude, is like he looks pro ready. He looks like a veteran. He plays like a veteran. And I'm hearing a lot of rave reviews about him from like actual coaches. Like the coaching interviews was a treasure trove of information, dude. I don't know if you guys like watched them, but if you have not, take some time and like watch them because they talk to position coaches, Chris Kasurik. They're talking to all these guys. And that's the one takeaway that I had. I was like, whoa, maybe we got a little Polamalu coming. I don't know, but it was kind of exciting. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the what you were saying about Polamalu comparisons, and that dude's getting a Head and Shoulders commercial very, very soon. I think he's going to ball out this year, and he's going to be. I like him. I think he flashed quite well last year, and I think he was more flashy than he was. Oh shit! What is he doing? Kind of stuff. As you say, yeah, he probably needs to work a bit on his coverage, but I think him and Ward back there will be, with that pass rush, obviously with Javarius Ward and Verrett and whoever on the corners. I think this defense is going to bail out us a lot this year.
He's only end up getting better. Hufanga. He looked so good last year. He looked so good. He's gonna get better. He will get better. I believe he will.
Is it safe to say we are top league, possibly going to be the top defense in the league this year?
I think top 5 minimum.
Yeah, yep. I wouldn't be surprised if we're top 3 because if you look at our stats from last year, we were top 10 in a lot of good areas. So,
what did
and that
we
was with
end
Norman.
overall? What were we overall?
I think we ended up being top 5 defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we
ended up in the top 5,
weren't we?
There wasn't many above.
Well, we were top 1 in pass rush for sure. Tackles for loss. We didn't get tested a lot in the passing game because I think our D-line was getting there. But now with the secondary that we have, if these guys can catch these interceptions, watch out, bro.
But I mean, aren't you glad that we haven't been able to sign anybody because of Jimmy G's contract, and we haven't signed anyone? We haven't been able to do anything with our prospects, etc. I'm just so pleased that that money's still on the table, and we haven't been able to sign anyone. Sorry, little dig to the people who know I love Jimmy G, but hey ho.
Damn, what is it?
Yeah, so like I
what
think
is
they
it?
did
4
what they
days
needed
to
do.
decide his fate
For Jimmy.
Well, we got 4. Yeah, we got 4 days.
They have till
right?
week 1. They have till week 1 technically.
Dude, if he gets on the field,
He'll start throwing soon though. Sometime this month.
if he gets into training camp, dude, we're on the hook.
He's not getting a training camp. No, we
I don't
have
think
to.
so.
We have till week 1 to get rid of him for the.
They can't let him play and risk him getting injured because then they're on the hook for all that money.
I thought it was June 19th that was the deciding factor on whether we kept him. That's when he's going to be past fit or something.
Yeah, because he has to be going before week 1.
Because the thing is with that, right? That contract, surely you'd rather him not pass the physical and just cut him and pay him 7 point whatever it is and just get him out the door. But I'm still convinced they aren't convinced by Trey, and maybe they are going to keep him just into training camp, just to see what happens. We all know what happens in training camp with QBs. Someone could get injured. We could get a second round. They could take over. I think that's how this is going to play out. The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced they're going to hold on to him until someone is so desperate that they have to give something for him. Because how many players, especially QBs, even though it's non-contact, they're in red jerseys, get injured?
Well, I mean, like, I think if you're the 49ers, you want them to pass the physical. I think you want them to pass the physical because then you can try to trade them.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you can release them and just be like, look, we tried, but you want it to happen sooner than later because, like, if you want to do right by Jimmy, you may want him to catch on to another team. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, his and. We've all talked about his stock and this, that, and the other, and what we could get for him, and during the season, and blah blah blah, and he was injured and all that crap. Right, we've gone through all that, but a healthy Jimmy is worth a third round pick at least.
No way, no. He's a fifth or
so? Okay, hold on. Since we talk about quarterbacks, then let's talk about the left guard real quick. Lincoln's gone, and everybody's banking on Banks.
I like that analogy. They're banking on him.
Did you see how Banks is looking? That guy got shredded.
He looked good, bro.
He got in shape.
They say
he's a different man.
They say
it comes back to the point that when we draft for the future, not necessarily for the season we're in. And we're kind of seeing that already with Hufanga and Banks. They're coming ready. These guys trained hard off season and they're ready to take their spots.
The other thing as well with that is a lot of fans are impatient because, we draft all these players and we don't see them. And I think we saw Banks last year and he wasn't very good.
Well,
he was okay, but he wasn't brilliant.
I think that's I think that's what Mike is talking about.
We had Lakin Thomas.
plug
You're not
I think that's
over him.
plug him now, play him.
What?
And that's what they all think, because not everyone works out. I mean, obviously Fred Warner worked out, Al Shire worked out, but not every pick will.
Well, think about it though for a second, Nick. It makes sense. It makes sense what Mike just said though. I mean, we're impatient because we weren't looking at what the 49ers were doing, and that was drafting for the future. And that's why we were so impatient with the whole quarterback situation, the left cornerback situation, whatever situation that you could think of the 49ers were in last season is because we were not looking at it like the 49ers were looking at it. Future. This is now. These guys are for tomorrow.
But the thing is, shouldn't you think like that, though? Because, I mean, Nick knows I don't. Well, you all know I don't study college football. I know nothing, right? But when you draft someone, doesn't matter what position, whether it's Trey Lance or it's Brock Purdy at the end, or, you know, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th, 6th, whatever, they're a project. And very, very rarely, unless they're forced to play their rookie season, i.e. McGlinchey, etc., every player is a reach in that first year.
No, it depends on the round you go in. Like if you pick somebody in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, then you're picking them because you believe like you can put them in a position to start. That's usually how it works. But 49ers are really 49ers are really successful in their later rounds, and they're really good at turning late round draft picks into starters because they don't rush them onto the field. And that's why I kind of stay away from putting fans in a bubble, because the conversations that I have with my guys, my fellas on this show, we seem to be very reasonable and logical with the way we think about how the 49ers build for the future. So I do pay attention to a lot of college football. And I understand that, like, the way the 49ers draft, it is draft and stash. Like Mav had said before, they got a roster built to win now. So they're going to draft players in the later rounds to get them ready for the future and not have to make big moves in free agency. So once you can understand that, then it becomes easier for you to see the direction the team goes in.
Just out of interest, very quickly, someone can point this out. Where was George? What round was Kittle drafted in?
5th.
And did he start in his rookie? Was he the starter in his rookie season?
No, they had Selleck, I believe.
So he didn't start any games in his first season?
I think he shared the starting job.
Yeah, he was sharing snaps.
He played. Yeah, he played. He didn't start. He played.
And then he basically took it over. So, like, you'll see that, like, 49ers are big on starting veterans. But if you have somebody who's absolutely shining, they'll start to take away those starting reps and then eventually start as the season progresses.
If you pay attention to college football this year and, you know, being the football man that you are, you can almost identify the players who are going to start on Sundays. Like, I'm going to take an example for Russell Wilson, for instance. I seen that guy play in both schools he went to. First thing I said was, whoever get this man, they're going to be special. Lamar Jackson, I seen him shred my Seminoles. But at the same time, I was like, dude, he's nothing but legs. Nothing but legs. You can almost tell these players.
My biggest problem with college football is all the good games are on at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I can't do it. I just can't stay up and think. And I have watched college football, but I only tend to watch the early games in the UK, and they're either blowouts or not very good. And as everyone knows, my guy, Cale Garrett, who was on the same, I think he did 2 years with Drew Lock. And, you know, I know Cale personally. He's been over and seen us in the UK. I'm planning to go and see him in the US. Sadly, in his last season, he was on an all-pro season and he blew out, I think, his arm or something happened anyway, and he was on for his best ever season. and unfortunately he got cut short, and now he's not in the NFL, and he's never going to be because he's signing up to protect his country. But I watched Mizzou for 2 years, and I saw a lot of players, and I thought they've got a chance to make it. But the gap between college and the NFL is huge.
I think the gap between college and the NFL. I think the gap between college and the NFL is the divisions. You look at, for example, college. I mean, the SEC seems to be the
most
place
ready
to
league,
look for players.
Right. I mean, Drew Lock. I don't know if anyone ever watched Drew Lock at Mizzou for the 2 years.
Where he came from?
And he looked elite with that. And I can't pronounce the tight end. The tight end was with him at Denver last year. Oka something or other. I can't pronounce it.
Oh, Fan. Oh, you talking about
no. It was Oka Yo. Oh, I can't say it. But anyway, okay. He threw the ball up to him, and the dude came down with it. His wide receivers were good, and I thought, you know what, Drew Lock is going to go quite high in the draft. Shows how much I know, right, about college. He's going to go not top 10, but he'll go in the first round, and he'll be good in the league. And he's been awful, but is that because of the system and all that? But I can't now like him because he plays for the Sea Chickens. Drew, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, though. Like you gotta keep in mind that the quarterback position is the hardest position to scout. It's the hardest position that you can scout. Like, it's hard. It's like a pitcher position. Like, you're not getting, like, chances are you're gonna get it wrong more than you're gonna get it right. But any other, you can't paint things with a broad stroke, like Mav said. Like, if you're gonna look at players there's players in college. Well, first of all, if you're a college guy, you got to understand it takes a lot of time for you to go and watch games. It's a lot of games. So you got to be like heavily invested into watching these games. But there's guys who stand out and you look at them and you're like, yeah, this guy looks pro ready right now. And there's other guys with high ceilings who you say they look good. They're probably going to be good because of the skill sets, but just not like the first or second year. And like, you got to be able, it's like scouting. You got to be able to see 3 or 4 years down the road. Age plays a factor into it. Like, are they at their ceiling?
To me,
go ahead, man.
Yeah.
So it's scouting. It really is.
No, it's a lot of pressure too, man. I mean, some guys, yeah. Like, where do you place these guys? Because some of these players are happy to go in the first round and don't pan out because of the team they go to, the system they run, and just it's a lot of different variation, different factors that you can look at in college, and it just don't pan out in the NFL. But then you got guys like Michael Crabtree, for example. When I seen him make that catch down the sideline in college at Texas Tech, I can't remember who his quarterback was, but I seen him make that one catch. Already, I made up my mind that this guy's a playmaker. Because if he can make that one catch, I know there's more that he can do. And sure enough, I started following him from there. And I seen what the 49ers saw in him. But if Crabtree had gone like in the second round or something, he would have been an elite receiver. The fact that he went into the first and his attitude pretty much played a factor in how the rest of his career ended up. You know, that's a lot of pressure on these guys coming into the league.
That's because he was advised by... That was because he was advised by MC Hammer.
There you go.
And Deion Sanders. And on the flip side, there's other things that we've come to learn that like NFL scouts have gotten wrong. Like back in the day, a few years back, even decades ago, like quarterback height was an issue. And then Drew Brees started to crack that. And then Russell Wilson, like no one thought Russell Wilson was going to be who he is. You know, getting drafted in, I believe, the 3rd round and then turning into who he is. That's why it's such a crapshoot, you know. And then like the small hands thing now, like that's a big thing. Your hands, they're too small. Now we're
Doug
learning
Flutie break that mold first of all, though.
Not the way Drew Brees did, because Doug Flutie was not at the level.
Doug Flutie was a talk about it. Yeah, he was like the conversation because, like, could you find another quarterback that can do the same thing until Drew Brees, and then next thing you know, they follow train. with
and Drew
who's
Brees
Joe
came along, and
Hamilton
now
for
we
the Bucks.
Drew
Yeah,
Brees came along.
Sean
and now
King
we come
wasn't
to
even that
realize,
tall. Wasn't all that tall.
right. But like, if you look at Drew Brees, you're like, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. And then you look at Russell Wilson, who eventually will get into the Hall of Fame as well. These are Hall of Fame quarterbacks
Hall
who
of
broke
Fame
that
back.
mold. So Doug Flutie had really big games, but he's not at a Hall of Fame level. So there's
No.
things
I
that
didn't
NFL's
say he
gotten
was
wrong.
Hall of Fame. I'm just saying about the shorter QB with the smaller hands and just the all.
You think about the gap. Think about the gap between Flutie and Breeze. Who else?
Oh,
could
it's
you
immense.
say was a
No,
short starting
I
quarterback
understand that,
between them?
but
Yeah,
obviously Flutie was before Breeze, so
right.
that's the point I was making.
He was the
you get a
conversation.
generational person that you had Flutie, then you had Breeze, then you've got Russell Wilson, and the list goes on and on. I mean, it started with Montana and all those great QB, Jim Kelly, all of them. You get some that you don't think are going to be good because of size, hand size, arm strength, this, that, the other. But the more they mature within the NFL, the better they become. And you've only got to look at, and I know he's going to get a Hall of Fame career based on his Super Bowls. Oh, Christ, what's his name? He retired. One of the Manning brothers.
Eli.
Now.
Oh, yeah.
He's
first
gonna
ballot,
get in there
by the way.
Yeah, he's going to get in there because he won 2 Super Bowls, not because he was anything. And he was
His name
okay.
too.
But I mean, he beat New England,
His
which
last
is
name
always
gonna get him
hilarious. And he was treated like a dog.
Those are two things that's going to get him in there. His last name and the fact that he beat New England twice. Point blank. Let's just be real, fellas.
Yeah, but that's good for me.
They can
anyone
add
that
whatever
beat
else
Brady
added
in
they
a
want to
Super Bowl.
Eli Manning's.
Oh, but did you know his dad and Peyton's dad is called Archie Manning?
That should be the reason
never
why
heard
Brady
that.
don't get into the one.
Never knew his dad's name was Archie ever.
Yeah,
and Archie was awful.
Oh, he's horrific, wasn't he? But they reckon the best Manning is still to come.
He played for the Saints, I believe the Oilers too.
Yeah, he played for the Saints, and he was awful.
Cooper Manning is the best Manning out of all of them. His injuries stopped him from proving that.
Yeah. Cooper's son will be better. Arch Manning will be better. They believe he's going to be just something immense. Archie Manning's come out and actually said that his grandson Arch Manning is further ahead at his age than both Eli or Peyton ever were.
How's Frank Gore stuff doing? Just out of interest, going on names.
I don't know, because he's going to be coming up drafted next year, is it?
I was disappointed by Barry Sanders Jr. I don't even know where he's at right now. Christian McCaffrey took his spot in Sanford.
I went to the grocery store earlier, and Barry Sanders Jr. bagged my shit. No, I'm only joking.
Did he?
I'm only joking.
I was still waiting. I'm still waiting to see what the hell hear from Brett Favre's nephew, I think it is supposed to be. I've heard about 5 years ago and nothing else no more. Joe Montana has a son out there that, listen, only Hall of Famer son that I've heard news about so far is Jerry Rice. Brandon Rice leaving Colorado to play for USC now. I'm excited to see that.
Is that this year? And this is his senior year.
That is his senior year, so he'll be coming out after this.
Right, I'm gonna make a note and try and watch some USC highlights, because I mean, a lot of these sons do have big shoes to fill, massive shoes, and he is the guy.
I've seen his game in Colorado. Listen, I've seen the kid play in Colorado with the team he had and the quarterback he had. I mean, you can see flashes. He didn't have great seasons out there, but you could see the flash. You could see Jerry Jr. in him. Same height, almost similar speed, and now he's playing with a bigger school.
let's not go putting him up by Jerry though. You're setting the poor kid up for failure. If you try and judge him by Jerry's standards, he's gonna fail. Let's let him be his own man.
I'm not judging him by the standard, but when you see them stand side by side, they're the same height and almost similar in speed. They've talked about it. So I mean, I'm not the one doing it.
Yeah.
You can clearly see it. If not, I think he might be a little faster than his dad.
It would be cool to have Rice Jr. as a niner if he's good enough.
I think he might.
We've
just
said
be.
that,
I mean,
right? With other like previous named players, if you want to call it, and they've fallen by the wayside purely because just because they're niner greats, it doesn't mean they're going to be good for the organisation, right? And we've seen that,
right?
One thing I want to bring up very quickly, and as ever, I always take shit on Twitter because I am a bit of a Howard Stern stroke Grant Cohn stirrer upper. The thing with Jerry Rice and Trey Lance that was on, and the video was put out, and he's endorsing Trey, he's doing this and doing that. He's not going to go up there with a sponsor that they both got paid for and go, yeah, I don't think your footwork's great. You got a great arm, but you need to work on your mechanics and your release and your this and your that. And everyone absolutely killed me for it. Jerry Rice or any player, former, who praises Trey Lance is doing it because they're getting paid. Whether they believe it or not is immaterial, right? But the amount of shit I took because I said, well, hang on a minute. He's not going to say anything derogatory because he's sitting down and getting paid by whatever company it was. And so is Trey. Oh, I knew he was going to be great when I saw him. I knew this. I knew that. Yeah, of course you did, Jerry, because you're probably getting a couple of mil to say that. Come on now. You know I love throwing hand grenades in. You know it. And I'm going to.
I mean, anything negative you say about Trey right now, you know you're gonna get it. Let's just be honest.
But it was no. It wasn't negative. It was the fact
but
that Jerry Rice
it might not
is
be
getting paid to say that, right? He's getting paid.
But see, that's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying though. It's your opinion. We respect that. But just the fact that you say Jerry Rice is getting paid, Niner fans is gonna take that as a negative comment towards Trey, meaning that Rice don't really believe in him like that. So I would retract from saying words like that. But I get your opinion. I get it.
Even if he wasn't getting paid and he sat down with Trey Lance, right? And they sat down one-on-one and someone recorded it. He is not going to bash Trey Lance. He's going to build him up like everyone wants him to. But the point was, everyone is like, the GOAT has endorsed him. He's done. What is he going to say? He's not going to say he needs to work on his footwork. He needs to do it. Of course he's not. And that's the thing with all this hype. And I said it on the show when you were all on there the other week. Overhyped, underhyped. Let's just take the middle ground and let's see what happens. Don't build everything up for a 14, a 12 win seat, a this, or that, the other. Let's just see what the kid can do.
I get your argument. Your argument is the fact that you feel like they're building Trey up too much for a failure. You don't want to see a failure based on the hype surrounding him.
Trust me, in the UK and Wales, I have to say that because Nick's on. We are great at building up our athletes for whether it's soccer or the Olympics or Christ knows, dominoes, whatever, checkers. We'll build them up to a point where everyone believes the hype, and then all of a sudden, it doesn't work out. So then our media will bash the shit out of him or them because they Nick, am I right? How many times has certain people, players, whatever, been built up to be so much better than they are just so the media can absolutely cut them to ribbons?
Yeah, I mean, the big one, I think, for me would... I'm not the biggest boxing fan. I like the big events, and that was about it. But Prince Nazim Hamed is the one that comes to mind. I mean, he was touted as being one of the greatest boxers of all time, and against some of the lesser fights he had, he'd knock him out in seconds, and he was cocky. But then the moment he came up against someone any good, he got a bit of a pasting. All of a sudden, the media were on him, and they ripped him to shreds. The British media are savages, absolute savages. They make grunts look like a little chihuahua.
But Nick, it's also how he carried himself too, right? He built himself like that before the media could even build him up like that. He put himself in that predicament. But when you take the NFL, first rounders to me are nothing but hype. Most of them are hype. I'm sorry. Let me retract that. Most of the first rounders are hype. That's why you always hear that your team is built on the back end of the draft. Like, you get third and fourth rounders who plays better than the first rounders. You got Kittle as a perfect example. So different sports, different tactics for this media. I get that. And football is you just have to look at it with a grain of salt. First, second rounders, if you're a true fan, don't put too much stock into them. It's the third on back that you really need to be like, okay, is this guy going to make the team? How is this guy going to affect my team? Because first and second rounders automatically gets a starting position on some teams. Let's be honest. But
I mean, I'm a big Public Enemy fan, and one of their greatest songs ever is "Don't Believe the Hype." And ages ago, when they and I do love stoking fires. You guys know me by now, right? I like to poke the bear. When they drafted Trey Lance, I just put out the front of my t-shirt because I can. And the amount of people that I do. I like the attention. I can't lie. And most of it is tongue in cheek. Most of it. And everyone's like, "You gotta believe that. You gotta believe it. You know, he's gonna do this," and they project 37 touchdowns, 1,000 yards rushing. I don't know how many, but on all this, how can you predict something based on 2.5 games? And they go, "Oh yeah, his projected thing. If he'd have played the whole season, he would have done this. You can't predict. Let's just see what happens this year. Let's just see. And if we win 8 games, 10 games, great. If we do, we don't, whatever. But take the bumps and the bruises." But people, honestly,
that's what makes
hype
you.
on. Sorry,
but isn't that what makes you a fan? Isn't that what makes you a fan of the game, though? Like the prediction of what you expect from your team and your players.
Not when I say I hope they win 8 games, because everyone kills me for it. I have changed that to 10, but again, 10 is a push.
Well, you think about it though, 10 gets us into the playoff, 8 gets us scratching the surface. So
hold on.
Saying 8 games.
I got a quick question for Nick here. Since he's a Jimmy stan, what were your feelings?
No, I'm not.
When we first
what was that?
Did you have high hopes for Jimmy when we first got Jimmy from the Patriots?
To be honest, I didn't watch him at the Patriots. I saw he came in at 6-0 or whatever it was, and I saw the first 5 or 6 games that he played for the Niners. Of course, who wouldn't be excited from being absolute garbage with garbage coaches, and he gave us a ray of light, and he did. Okay, so who wouldn't be excited to see that? And I don't give a shit. Even Teddy, who attacked me because apparently even though I offered him to come on the show and he wouldn't.
Leave Ted out of it, man. He's not here to defend himself.
Was excited. Who wouldn't be excited by that end of season 6 games? I won £100 because I bet my boss that we would win 6 games, and they were dog shit. And Jimmy came in, and lo and behold, we won those games. My only problem throughout the whole Jimmy G era, apart from obviously the ridiculous picks, and I am documented to say bench him, he's trash, what the is going on, blah, 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 is injury. And I think that this last injury he had tells me a lot about the way the Niners were thinking. Why didn't they put the kid in? That's my big thing, and we'll never know the answer. We will never know, apart from Jimmy.
I think I gave you the answer. You know,
Jimmy
drafting
wins
stash.
games with the Z, right? He wins. And that was my biggest issue, is why didn't they put Trey in when they knew Garoppolo had a bum arm, bum hand, this, that, the other. And the season was still in the balance, but we needed to see what Trey could do in that position. We needed to. And if we lost, people would have been, yeah, they'd have been pissed. Of course they would. But we would have known, right? We would have known what the future holds. But they didn't go that way. And that's still the biggest enigma of the Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo thing.
So that's your problem with, well, I'm not gonna say that's your problem, but that's your, well, damn that. That's your problem with Trey Lance, isn't it? It's the unknown. You just really don't know.
No. I don't, dude. I do not have a problem with Trey Lance.
That's why I was trying to refrain from using that word, but I couldn't think of nothing else.
Issue.
There you go.
Issue is
the unknown.
Jimmy
the
G was 60%, yet they rolled him out for all those games where we could have just put Trey in and rolled with it. And if we didn't make the playoffs, wonderful. And I guarantee you, right, if we'd have beaten the Rams, and I'm not putting it on Tart or anyone because it's a team loss, if we'd have beaten the Rams and got to the Super Bowl and won it, and he'd have handed it off 36 times, no one would have given a fuck, because it would have been quest for 6. Let's go, let's go, let's go. No one would have said a fucking word.
I disagree.
And I'm sorry, Ryan, that I'm swearing, but I'm a bit passionate. Sorry.
We would have been.
It's already past 7 minutes. Don't worry, man. It's already past 7 minutes.
If Jimmy G would have won the Super Bowl in any of
there you go. Jimmy G didn't win that Super Bowl. It would have been a running game.
Yeah, but no, who would have cared? I wouldn't have cared if Trey handed it off 30 times. I just want 6. I don't care how we win it. I don't care if it's defense. I don't care if it's Robbie Gould.
That was my whole issue with the whole thing too. Like, why couldn't Trey come in and do the same thing Jimmy was doing? That was my whole issue. But then I started looking at it. Like I said, I came to the conclusion as draft and stash. We were built. If we kept talking about, if our organization kept saying Jimmy was the best thing for the team, best thing for the team, that means we were a Super Bowl ready team, right? So I started looking at it like, we draft and stash. That's all we did. All these guys gonna play next year, and they should be ready. They've had enough time to study. They've got their feet wet a little bit here and there, and now they're going into a full first season of OTAs and training camp and everything. So they should be fully ready to go. There shouldn't be no reason why we keep hearing about Trey Lance is no longer ready. Now it's a complete 180 with the kid. Last year he was nowhere near ready. Now he's like, oh, boom, the man is this, is that. So, do
you know what? As well, the other thing that amazed me, right, in that season was people blamed Jimmy Garoppolo for not tanking, so we didn't get the first overall pick. And that's been out there. Everybody blamed him because they didn't get the first overall pick. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's his fault. Oh, sorry that we went on that winning streak to actually give people a bit of hope that we might have a good year the following year. Oh, that's such a disappointment. Oh, and we still got Nick Bosa.
For me, what that winning streak did, Yeah, that was. Oh, you talking about that?
We went on the winning streak that lost us the number 1 overall pick with Nick Mullins under center, and I know that for a fact because I was in hospital watching it, being diagnosed with MS.
What did we ended up winning like 2
you were in
games?
hospital watching Nick Mullins, Nick. Come on now.
I watched that one from my hospital bed.
We ended up with like 2.
We were shocked. We were absolutely shocked. We had 2 wins up to that point until we went to Denver at Mile High Stadium, and Kittle put up 201 yards in that first half. I'll never forget that day. That was the day I found out I had all those lesions on my brain and on my spinal cord. And yeah, that win was the only reason I smiled that entire week for obvious reasons. But and then of course we went on to beat the Seahawks the following week, and people were absolutely, I got slammed by several people for celebrating those wins. Oh, we're going to lose Nick Bosa. We're going to lose this. Fuck off. We won. Don't care.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, Nick, right?
Hey, Mikey, if you want to go, bud, you can go, bud. Mikey, you want to go, you can go, bud.
You too, Mike.
You so good,
I
bud?
actually need to dip out in a sec because I need to go and watch the Champions League final.
Gotcha, Nick, bud. Thanks for coming on, bud.
I need to do my Spanish shit and hope they beat Liverpool, but that's another story.
Hey, so what's up, Nick? You said 3 weeks?
Sorry, say again?
You
Check
taking
Club
a
NFL.
3-week vacation?
Talking about Check Club NFL. He's talking about your show, Saturday morning show.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I don't know when we're starting again. We will be starting. And I appreciate you, Ryan, for doing your shows when, Grant Cohn set you up perfectly for this week. I've been scratching my head to find things to talk about. So, yeah, Grant's done you a favour this week. So I may leave it a few weeks, but yeah, we are coming back. I need something to talk about for a couple of hours, and if there's not a lot of news around, it's very, very difficult. And I do love to talk, as everyone knows.
Got you on that one.
Exactly. Nick, we need to sort that trip out to the Bay. Let me know what's going on with the sales and blah, blah, blah.
I have good news for you.
That's good, because we need to book it, because I've just been paid and I've still got money burning a hole in my pocket. We've got to go to the Bay, back to back. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm getting up out of here. There's 25 minutes till kickoff. Ryan, love you. Mav, everyone else in here.
Love you, man.
Take care.
Yeah, we're finna get. I guess we all finna get ready to cut it out. You know what I mean?
I got you. No problem. No problem at all. All right, guys, later on.
Everybody watching.
No problem. We had up to 4 people watching. So
Hey,
it'll grow. It'll grow.
All good, man. All good.
All good.
that's a lot. One person watching this is a good step.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, it is. And my wife usually the first one. My wife usually the first one that pops on. She pops on her phone. She goes, "I hit it. YouTube. Here we go." She watches me.
Cool, man.
So my wife.
I'm very much liking Money Mav's get up for this week.
You're welcome. Just for you.
Dude, can you? Okay, genuine question, because I am a newbie when it comes to basketball. I know we're a football show, we're a Niners show.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
Were you surprised with the ease with which the Warriors dispatched the Mavericks?
Dude, I called a sweep.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I call. Actually, if you go to my last episode on Ryan, yeah, send him the link to his chat so he can just go ahead and get it. If you go to the last episode, Drew and I was talking about it, and I mentioned that I actually went for a sweep, and my boy Cato was saying that the Warriors was going to take a night off. In my head, I did not disagree with him, but at the same time, it was like I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna ride with it. I called a sweep. So, and then I called Game 7 for Miami and Boston. And
you want me to send the link to him from your show?
Yeah, send him the link.
I think I figured.
That's well cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I sort of watched. I managed to actually catch the first 2 games, and then the other ones were on so late and with work, I didn't get to watch any of them, unfortunately, after that point. But I think the one thing that's really stuck out, especially with the Mavericks, I mean, how much they rely on Luka. I mean, without that man, they are nothing, literally nothing.
And listen to what I told Ron. I told Ron that on the Suns, they had a 4-year window. And that's just what it is, a 4-year window. Next year, they'll be lucky to even make the 6th seed. And I really believe that. So you got, if you start looking at basketball like that, because it all started with the whole LeBron and the Heat thing. I started watching it that way, 4 years, a 4-year stint. And then it went on to Golden State, a 4-year stint. And now they're just not, they still relevant.
They've been to the NBA Finals. Is it 6 times in 8 years?
Something like, yeah.
I think I read it last night. I'm not sure. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
If you look at the team that they have, not the same team has gone back. They've gone through like little revamps here, addition here, addition. I mean, for the most part, the whole team stayed together except for, like I said, a couple additions here and there. Versus a team like the Suns, who I believe in the next 2 years, if not next year, they're going to be looking completely different, just like the Chicago Bulls did.
Blow up, start again.
What up, Panama?
It was just really fun to watch. Although I must admit, baseball takes precedence. Baseball's my second sport.
Dude, I've been watching you tweet so much.
What's up, Panama Queen? What's going on, girl? Haven't seen you in a while.
Crazy.
What's going on?
Hey, I have been loving Jock. Absolutely loving Jock.
Dude, I was just reading that whole Jock Peterson, Tommy Pham, and Jeff
over the fantasy stuff.
Like, wow.
Have you seen the interview he gave after the game against the Reds? And he said, well, yeah, it's just a kind of thing that happened over a year ago. Like, how the heck did that boil over for a year to be a thing in that game? That was insane. I'm more annoyed that we lost to the worst team in baseball, or one of the worst teams in baseball.
Who was that? Who y'all lost to?
The Reds.
Are they really? Are they really want?
They're one of the worst. I think they've got the worst
like
record. I think they've got one of the worst records in baseball right now. They're horrific, and we lost to them. I was gutted, especially after we actually beat the Mets in the series before 2-1. Really didn't expect that after the way we played against the Padres.
Yeah, I baseball. I'm probably gonna get back into baseball more a little bit after the All-Star break, because I mean that's usually when there's less games left. And how many games left after All-Star break? About
no clue.
40 or something, I think it is. Because 9 out of 10, those are the games that really matter. Like, you can lose early on to the season, and then you got to get to that last stretch, that 7-inning stretch, I like to call it, during the stands. So it's like, after the All-Star break, that's when I feel like the games really, really matter.
Hey Nick, I sent you his thing. Okay,
yeah.
It's on direct message.
Cheers, dude.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, I was really hoping that the Niners schedule would land a bit more favorable and have a couple of games at home in a row in September, so I could go out, watch them, watch the Giants. But wasn't to be.
Like hockey right now. Well, no, actually, the Rays been looking pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, last 10 games we've only lost 2. We're 8-2, I think. Let me look at this up.
Didn't the Avalanche make the finals last night?
Yeah.
I was going to say your wife.
My wife knows I'm going against them too. That's her team.
Wait, so who's in the finals for NHL?
No, not finals yet.
Colorado
It's going-
Avalanche made the finals.
Yeah,
didn't
they went. They're going to the conference finals.
Conference finals. There you go.
Conference
Oh,
finals.
I was gonna say because I'm like, hold on, on the
Edmonton
Lightning
Oilers.
still in it?
Edmonton Oilers. They're in there with them.
On the
That's-
Lightning still in it?
Yes, they're on the east. They're on the east side.
Come on, man. You know we finna take that again, man.
Who's your teams? Oh, brain fart, like always. Lightning won their side, so now they're waiting for. I'm at a brain fart. I gotta look it up. I hate that. I forget what it is.
I do it all the time.
Hate that. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Bear with you. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
Try to look it real quick here. Matt's not gonna look at it before me.
No, I'm trying to see the Rays record right now.
The Hurricanes and the Rangers. So if the Hurricanes win tonight, they go against the Lightning and for the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
So
we are in the conference.
So you're in the conference finals then?
Yeah, they're going to into the conference finals. Yes. So whoever wins both them games goes into the finals.
Lightning gonna lose.
No, we not. Don't like that.
I'm going for either one. I'm going for Lightning. I'm going for Hurricanes.
Jesus Christ, this man is wow. Nick, I did not know you had a foul mouth like that, man. I mean, the man is cursing at me, and I didn't say nothing about him. I was just like, "Hello, Mr. Nicholas, how you doing, sir?" He's like, "Lightning's gonna lose." And I was like, "Damn, what did I do to you?" I mean, like, "Sir, jeez, I came at you with nothing but respect."
I just wanted to see if there was going to be a reaction. That's why I said it sort of a little bit. And,
I'm just saying, though, man. I gave you nothing but respect, and I get smacked in the face like we was talking about fantasy or something.
Nah, it's okay, dude. I mean, my Sharks aren't even there, so.
Hey, I didn't know that. Like, damn, the Rays are second in the AL East, 26-19. See what I'm saying? Like, look, we only won 26 games. The Yankees won 33. I'm more concerned about the back end of the season. Like, I'm not.
Listen, it's all about how you finish, isn't it? Yeah, as I say, it's a marathon. It's how you finish it. As long as you're in it, you're in it. That's all you got to do.
Because baseball is too long of a season to sit there and watch all 162 games and get pissed off at every loss. Like, I just can't do that. You know,
I know that.
I've come to love about baseball is that I can be pissed that I can be really pissed that we've lost, but you've got tomorrow to put it right. You haven't got to be pissed about it all week. Yes, I feel like crap that night, but
I don't care. I don't care about winning the series and all that. I just care about just winning. Right? You can split the series for all I care, as long as at the end of your season, your record is better than most. It gets you into the playoff. That's all I worry about. Now, if
Giants have got to keep winning as well because the NL West is ridiculous. There's so many. I think only two teams don't have a winning record in our division so far.
And just to think, Nick woke from a nap. I seen you on them.
Honestly, though, like I really believe that it's more press on football because it's either you win and you get in, or you lose or you go. And especially if you're fighting for that spot. When it comes to baseball, I mean, like you got this whole stretch to make it up. I mean, if you just don't make it, that's just on you. You know, basketball, same thing.
Yeah, you can throw the kids in, you can drop a few games, rest some players. It's not so much, but football, every single second of every single game counts because you've only got 17 of them.
Could you imagine if football changed their playoff method into like a 3-game playoff system to where 2 out of 3? Could you imagine that? I mean, the
playoffs will be as long as the actual season.
Yeah, but the pain that these players will endure, at least they'll get a chance to make it to advance. I could lose today, and I'm.
You'd have to have a 70-man roster to get through that many games across it would be unreal. Your career would be 2 years long.
Oh my god, bro!
Imagine putting your body through that. Look at the Super Bowl winners. Imagine in that fantasy season how much that team has put their bodies through.
Yeah, think about it. Okay, think about it. Right? Think about it. Let's say that format was in play. We lose this Rams game, right? Now we got 2 weeks to win those two games.
Mm-hmm.
Do we still talk about that interception? Do we still talk about Jimmy having enough time to make a comeback? You think
Probably.
even if we go on to win those 2 games, do we worry about that one game we lost?
Dude, this is the faithful. They will talk about it. we will talk about it, and we will obsess over it for years to come. We should have won that in 2. We should have had a week off.
Oh, you know what I get. Okay, I get it. Since you want to put it that way,
you know what? It'll happen.
The minute you say we should have had that week off, you know what? Never mind. That's something to talk about right there. That's content.
Straight away, it'd be there, and it'd be all that would be talked about. Oh, they're looking tired going into the next one. That's what would happen straight away.
Yeah,
there's always an angle, always. And if there's an angle to be found, you can guarantee it. The faithful will find it. We are very good at that. I mean, I love this fan base with all my heart. But we are buggers for finding these things.
Like Nick C was talking about, man, we are an impatient fan base, though. I will agree with that, because I find myself in the impatient side half of the times. Like, I questioned it. Why the hell trade didn't play? But I had to talk myself down from that hype. We stash, we draft and stash. Just let it be that. Because, I mean, eventually that's what it's turning out to be. We talking about Aaron Banks. We talking about Drake Jackson. Where, like I said, first and second rounders are almost guaranteed to play. Who else we talked about? Alshai Aziz. I mean, let's just be real. If we can keep this going even after Kyle, the organization will be a legacy, like a true legacy. We would be amongst the Pittsburgh Steelers that's never really had a bad season. I mean, can you really? I'll wait if you could tell me their bad season.
Well, their bad season was the one they just had.
No, I mean, like, as
under their current coach, they've never had a losing season. I mean, this is the closest they've ever come.
Closest.
I mean, that's not a bad thing to have.
Closest, bro, but still,
that's the closest they've come to having a losing season.
You see what I mean? So if we can keep our organization going even after Kyle and John, to where we can always keep drafting and stashing, again, bro, I mean, this will be a legendary organization to play for, because you're going to go there. You're not going to play right away. You're going to have plenty of time to get acclimated to the offense, defense, get to know the players, coaches, and stuff like that. So you're not trying to do all of that while still trying to play.
But the thing is, the situation will always change, especially if GMs or coaches think that they're on the hot seat.
That's true too.
It'll change their strategy, because what they're going to look to do is to try and save their job. And that's a natural human reaction. It's the same thing any one of us would do. If we think we're going to be canned, we're going to look to try and save our job. And you can't blame someone for that. Not that I think that that's the situation right now. I will say I don't believe we're anywhere near that.
I mean, it would change, but I seriously believe that the direction we're going, it wouldn't change that much unless we start releasing players and cutting players we shouldn't be cutting and doing stupid trades and stuff like that under the new regime. Then we are destroying what Kyle and John had built and had set in place. But I mean, I wouldn't see nobody want to be stupid and do no drastic change like that.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this all plays out, and I think we've got a really, really great pairing with John and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could be together for a long time. I think the only thing I might consider would be John moving up to being like this whole. It's been talked about a few times, moving him up, making him president, and then putting Adam Peters in as GM, because I don't want to lose Adam Peters.
I think Peters is the one running the show right now, or at least he's had a hand in it.
I don't want to see Peters leaving. I mean, he nearly left when he went for that. He went for the interview with the Giants. I think the Giants really made a big mistake not taking him. Really big mistake. But someone's going to take him eventually, and I don't want to lose him.
I don't think the Giants made a mistake not taking him. I seriously believe he turned it down because I don't know. I guess I just want to believe so much that the 49ers are Belichicking Peters. And what I mean by that is the promise that
you're going to take over.
Who was that? Yeah, Parcell made to Belichick. But he ended up not taking that Jets job and going to the Patriots. That was a whole different story. But I seriously believe that's the same scenario. So that's why I call it the Belichicking. Yeah, because but I really feel like he will take that job, and he turned down that job. Not so much didn't get it. I want to go that route with it.
That's fair. That's fair. It's certainly a much nicer way to think about it. It's a less worrying way to think about it for a start. But I think Adam Peters has just been something else for us. Really has. Thank you so much, Denver, for letting us have him, because they let him go without a fight. You know, Elway did let Peters go with absolutely no fight whatsoever.
Did Elway really let him go without no fight, or did they already have that conversation behind doors? I mean, see, these are the things that we don't know. We see how it looks. Oh, damn, Denver didn't put up no fight for him. Well, really, hey, John, I appreciate everything. Hey, no problem, Adam. Go ahead and have you a nice time over there. I know that's where you want to be, and I'm accommodating that. That's it. No problem. Let the media think what the hell they want to think.
I think they were doing John Lynch a favor, because John Lynch is still a big favorite up there.
That too.
John Lynch is still very well liked within the Broncos organization. I think he's liked pretty much everywhere he's ever been. Let's be honest. He's still loved by the Bucs fans as well. I think his first job as a GM, he spoke to the Broncos and said, "Look, any chance, bring Adam with me." He obviously knew who Adam Peters was beforehand, and I think the Broncos didn't stand in his way. I think it was a bit of a go get it, John.
Yeah, because I mean they all talk. You don't know how long they've been talking, how long that conversation been on the table. We just talk about it when we hear about it.
Yeah, of course.
But I like to try to stay optimistic when it comes to certain situations like that. Just just not to, like Nick trying to say, not to overhype myself on things I really don't know. I'm just assuming. So,
well, this is it. I mean, I'll always pray that my Niners are going to do amazing. The last couple of years, I've tried really, really hard not to get too carried away, so that I don't get too disappointed or something later on in the year. But
I'm gonna tell you, dude, George Kittle had a big part. He played a big part in the way I see things, especially now. And that was because the whole talk about it when Grant came out saying trading Kittle. I didn't think about it until he mentioned it. So I started looking into it. Why would he say something like that? Then it came out, hey, Garoppolo's his quarterback. That's who he played with. And he doesn't know this kid. And plus, he has to be a professional. He has to back his guy. But I didn't look at it that way. I just felt like, dude, you play with the man for 4 years. You have to know that this guy is no longer your guy. You know what I mean? But then when the season is over with and he's saying all these things about trade, now you can actually see the excitement in his face and you can hear the excitement coming out. I'm like, please give this man an Oscar. He's a hell of an actor, because he really had me believe that he was not on Trey's side And that is why I was convinced
But he never said he wasn't on Trey's side.
He never said it.
He never said it. All he did was back his starting quarterback, and that's all. And that's all you can. That's all you can ever ask of a player. I never saw it as a thing on Kittle about either way. I don't think he was ever on sides. I mean, hell, he's taking. He's got
the impatience. The impatience as a fan played a part in it too, though. Because I wanted to see Trey Lance on the field. Because of all what we did, I want to see him. So that played a big part on. Damn, I'm with Grant on this one, man. Maybe we should trade him because he's not in all on the quarterback, and I don't want to play. I don't want nobody playing with me that's not supporting his quarterback. But then when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, he is supporting his damn quarterback.
He is. He always was.
So yeah, so I'm like, dude, you like for real, bro. You deserve an Oscar, like, because you really had me fooled. You had me convinced that you did not.
But he never said it. It was Grunt that said that. Grunt said it, not George. And this is why we need to excommunicate Grunt from the entire thing.
Absolutely right. Grant did say it out loud, but the action of Kittle and the conversation and stuff, I started looking because he said it. I started really looking into those factors. Like he pointed me in a direction that I did not need to be pointed into. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he put shutters down on one side and went, "Ooh, look, go over here, go over here." Have a look at that. And that's all it was. It was smoke and mirrors. It was Grunt after clicks. That's all it ever was, and which is why I never, ever, ever refused to buy into the situation because it was Grunt. It was never the players. It was never the organization. I would expect nothing less of every 49er to have been backing Jimmy at that point because by all accounts he was going to be the starter. Okay, then it's now as things at times come on. But I've said just be patient. That's all we have to do is be patient.
But I would admit this though. I mean, saying that did earn me some UK fans and friends though. I appreciate you guys. 85 Club, that's what's up.
Club 85, man. Club 85 is right here.
Club 85, So I mean, it put me on their map. So
yeah, you don't want to be on that radar again.
I appreciate it.
On that note, you guys are good.
Yes, sir.
Always, baby.
All right, baby. Down, guys.
All right, guys.
Later.
See you soon, guys. Have a great one.
That on, man.
That man.
Okay. All right. Now, do my plug real quick and I'm doing this with. Yeah, that was a great show, though. It was a great show. I want to thank, in the chat, Gary Thorpe, of course, Nick Cork, and of course, I got to show it again, Pamela Queen. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So, on that note, do my plugs, of course. Of course, I want to thank Mav, Ron, Mike for coming on here, doing your thing. And of course, I want to get a shout out. And of course, Drew Meister, Drewski, and of course, TJ. All right. And of course, thank the UK gentlemen. All right. Nick Welsh, Nick Cork, come here and do your thing. And of course, get a special shout out to Paul Hope. All right. And of course, I'm going to plug him. You can go ahead and find him on that at 49er Facebook UK at Paul_Hope10. That's a find Paul Hope. All right. Great guy. And happy birthday to your daughter, Paul. Happy birthday to your daughter. All right. Hope she has a great day. All right. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Ashley. Get a shout out to Ashley, bud. We miss you, mate. We miss you, man. So now, of course, I'm going to do my plugs. You can catch Mav on the comment with Mavocado. That's his Twitter handle. And you can watch his show on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. All right. And then, of course, go catch Coach Ron on his show on Thursday nights on YouTube. That Night of Life. And of course, that's his Twitter handle. All right. And of course, it's at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. All right. They're both great shows. All right. And of course, I want to plug, of course, Bias D at Bias Drew Meister. Of course, he's got a new show coming up. He's coming soon. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to put it in probably the next show. He's planning on doing it June 15th. June 15th. All right. So he's planning on doing that. That's his release date. All right. So you know. And of course, you got to plug out the Nick Cork and Shaq Club NFL. All right. That's how you find both of them. Twitter handles. And of course, 14:30 p.m. UK time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and of course, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, Saturday on YouTube. All right. So basically, that's it. That's what I got for you. We'll see you next time on next show. All right. So, and that's the fact. Keep the hope. Keep the faith. Never lose hope. Then on, guys. Later.